Hey guys, it's Christina Blackfeather here and just recording a little bit on YouTube before I have to go to work. Okay, I had to do some color correction earlier easier to point out here, in this section because I didn't have it quite matching. I'm working section by section and some of it is being made up a bit compared to one of the originals I'm looking at. And I'm looking at an original that came from in Detroit. The Museum of Art there has got one of the Dragon of Marduk frescoes in there. But yeah, this is actually looking pretty decent. So what I'm going to do is just, before I have to get ready for work, I'm just going to show you a little bit of my process. Here you see I had to correct some of the shapes. I had it a little bit off, but I'm going to at least show you, well, maybe here it'll be easier, show you a little bit of what I do. I start out with a base painting base color work first, and if I have time, then I'll go further than that. I really only have about 20 minutes. So let me zoom in. All right. And yeah, some of my bricks are a little bit longer than the original one is, but no, actually they're right. It's all the cracks I'm looking at, and I like the cracks. So I'm going to be having a lot more cracks throughout this whole canvas. But yeah, you can see where a little bit of a crack is coming up here too. I actually got that looking pretty good. So we're going to keep the cracks in the brickwork, and they look more of a mixture of gray and, you know, the black and white. I also throw a little bit of brown in with the gray for the base coat, because that kind of gives me an idea of where to go. So there's my messy palette. It's pretty messy. One of my paints, of course, is pretty shot. So let's see, where is that? Okay, I'm down one row. Kind of hard to keep track of the rows, I'll tell you. Sorry, I'm looking at the photo on my computer. So we're going to be about right here, and I'm not being exact. There's, I don't know how many dragons on this darn, on the Ishtar gate there are. I never looked up to see how many. But I do curve this just a little bit right here at the front, so that kind of gives it that three-dimensional feel to it. So we're going to do that. And you can see where the brickwork is going to kind of slide off there a little. There's a brick edge right there. So that one is going to be a little bit darker because that's set further back. All right, so then we have another crack about right here. Again, it's kind of interesting to see where the stress went, because they both are like almost the same direction. From the photo, there is a light source coming down this way. So I'm going to have to go back through and kind of lighten this up a little bit too, just to mimic that light source. Now, the more I'm looking at it. But right now, I'm kind of trying to blend the colors too while I'm at it here, just to get a little smoother. The scraping you're hearing is not the brush, that is my fingernail, because I just use my finger for support. Okay, so there's one brick right there, and the differences between the bricks I'm going to make a little bit darker, so you can see where the brick itself changes and where you have cracks in the brick. I want them to look different. So this is going to be a little lighter gray right here. Let's fix that right now. You notice the gray is a little yellow too. Just trying to keep all those colors together, and the one I'm going off of has got some colors almost look like turquoise, and there's some browns in where the brightly colored brick had broken off, and I really like that look. It's much more in depth to me than the flat, some of the other ones that Saddam Hussein actually had restored, and so their brick is a lot brighter, and I like the older, more decayed look. Okay, yeah, that looks fine, but I got this edge here needs to be fixed a little. So let's, there we go. Now, I'm not going to have an awful lot of time tonight on this video, but I wanted to make sure that you guys saw the under shading. And I'm trying to go more into sand colors here. So to do that, I do just a little bit of black, a lot of yellow, a little bit of brown, and a little white. And where are we? Okay. So this spot here, and I'm just kind of also laying the direction, because you notice the scales, there was a direction change. And that actually is in the original piece like that as well. So you kind of want to have your brush strokes go with the direction, and even on an animal that you're painting or anything like that, you want to have your, even your initial brush strokes, your base painting ones, to go the direction that the hair or the scales are going to go. And I'm just about out of yellow here, although I'm liking that base color. It's also not going to be very consistent from panel to panel, since these were individual bricks, to have the color be exact, but you do want to stay within a certain tone. And that's what I'm trying to do here. And the nice thing about redoing or trying to revisualize this dragon is that thankfully it is in sections. This is kind of making it easier than doing a real life animal, because then you have to shade, you know, watch the color throughout the whole thing and lay your base coats down throughout the whole thing. And this way I'm able to just lay the base coats down section by section. Alright. Yeah. He's got a little bit of a lump. Poor guy, he got a lump. Look at that, he got a little lump right there. Not a happy little lump. Just a second. My computer had gone to screensaver. Yeah. Alright. Teensy bit more of that brown. I don't want to take out too much paint because I only have so much time. Come on, brown, get out of there. There you go. Alright. So my brown is kind of really a rich umber, and so I need to tone it down, so I'm mixing it with the gray so I can work on this lump just a little bit more. There we go. And then, okay, the scales are kind of going up this way. So there we go. Now, a little bit darker with the brown. sorry, I keep going and looking. These scales here are going to be a little bit more yellow in the center than even up here because of the color shifting in the brick. And again, the scales are just like half diamonds. And I'm not going to do them fully dark right away. You don't want to do that. Right now the paint is a little wet on wet. It's not dry. So it's going to have a little bit better blending at this moment than later on. And later on, if I want to just blend, I'll layer paint and then blend that layered paint in there. So let's get a little bit more definition in that crack. Okay. And a little more there. Now we're going to switch over to a little yellow and white and the gray. So again, right in here, here's where my wet areas are right now. I'm using the crap out of this thing before I end up tossing it. Okay, just layer over top. This will work pretty much on any scales. Get your base color down first. And your base shapes, and then you can just go from there. And I'm trying to figure out where I picked up this slightly southern accent on this. It doesn't make any sense, but go figure. Okay, a little bit there. I don't want to lose that feel of that lump either. See what it looks like on the camera. A little lighter than I like. And I'm sorry, I bumped the camera stand. I'm really sorry about rocking it there. Sorry, guys. It's just on one of those things that, one of those long-necked, whatever the heck's that, only has like the one neck on it. And so you bump it and the camera's rocking everywhere. Okay, so I had a little bit more three-dimensional over here. Let's go back to the brown. Get that a little bit more 3D here. A little more shading on the edge. Okay, good. Much better. Oh, much, much better. A little bit of white. I'm going to highlight some of these spots on the scales. Now there's some artists that aren't, you know, on the computer, they'll go and they do the line details and all the scales and that. This is a little bit more what is called impressionism. So you're not actually doing the full detail. You know, I'm doing it more in the face and stuff where there's specific things like the eyes and all that. But right here, you don't want to have a full detail going. Yeah, and I kind of like the tonal changes right there. Let's toss a little bit more brown and yellow in there. A bit more brown coming off out of the container. Come on, thick brown. Poor stuff, it's getting so old. But hey, it's doing it. It's a little too far away from the tone from the brick above, so we're just gonna carry some of that down. Take a look on. Oh, much better. Big improvement. All right. And we'll do a little bit black edging here and into there. And yeah, it doesn't look like much, but then it gives that effect and parts of it stand out a little bit more when you're looking at the black right here. It tends to pop just a teeny bit. You're not outlining every scale. All you're doing is just using the paint and letting the paint do some of the work. So there you go. There's a quick tutorial on scales on your dragons. And especially we're using the dragon of Marduk today for the detail. And I have to get ready for work. So blessed be everybody. Please make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and share, because this is going for Digital Hammurabi for their one scholarship program. This painting will be auctioned off by Josh and Megan, and my husband and I will be shipping it to the winner, so there will be no shipping charges, anything like that. It's just going to be a straight auction, and you guys will be getting a very large canvas, whoever wins. So please, please, please make sure to like and subscribe. And later when I'm home and doing video editing, I'll leave their link in the description on any of these dragon videos. Previous live streams show work on the face and face. Hi face, how you tickle the nose. There we go, tickle the nose. So there you go, guys. I have to get ready for work. So blessed be everyone. Have a great night.